Didn't do anything.
Right, so it's a weekend off work. It's going to be a lovely weekend, so hopefully you get a few jobs done. And this is the first one on the list. Tracy talked about a few of the animals that we have, but she didn't really talk about where our chickens go. And this is where we keep them for the most part. And as you can see, it's all Harris fenced off, but it's mainly all in the shade at this time of the day. But in an hour or two's time, that sun will be over there, and this will all be flooded in sun. But they still get quite a lot of shade from all these big black poplar trees. So what we're going to do is we're going to take all the Harris fencing down, let them have this paddock, but we're going to block off up the top there where we keep the ducks and let them other chickens out with the ducks. So hopefully it'll all go right. And as you can see, it's just got away with itself and everything's overgrown because we only have 2 sheep now, so they're not on here to keep it down and they just can't manage everything. So hopefully the chickens will scrat around this and make it look a bit tidier. Let's get on with it. So what I did with this piece of Harris fencing, I just cut a section out in the middle and just put 2 supports in and put a gate on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece off and put it up there to block off where the ducks go, but we'll still be able to have access in and out without moving the whole piece. So I'm going to take this off, get it up there, and then at least the chickens will have a chance to get out.
One of the reasons why we keep these guys locked in at the moment is, if you saw the recent video that Stephen mentioned, that was a small holding tour, and you'll see that we've got a cockerel that's actually not far. He is just on the other side of those trees there, and he just free ranges. Now there is a cockerel in with these girls here, and if they get out together they cause each other some real problems. They'll have a big fight. If you saw another one of our videos, we had 2 different cockerels fighting just recently, and we don't want to have that, so we're going to try and solve that problem somehow. But that's why at the moment these guys are always locked in behind bars, and it's always really shady in there like Stephen said, so we want to try and get them in a bit of sun. While Steve's making a racket, let's go and see how many eggs we've got today. These are the nest boxes. We just fill the nest boxes with straw. And somebody is going broody. You shouldn't be in there. Come on, dear. I know. Come on. No, come on. No, they're not for sitting on. I'll put them up there out the way so that she doesn't try and sit back on them. She's only been on them this morning, but she'll be really annoyed that I've taken her off them. But we don't want any sitting on them in these, because these are the eggs that we actually eat. We do have some of the Brahmas up the top that I showed you recently. They are sitting on some eggs, so we'll have a check on them before the end of the video as well. So much for keeping the chickens in. They're going to be straight out.
Pass through that door there. So we'll get through there, won't we?
Yeah, that would be perfect, because we can still fit through that one with the wheelbarrow, can't we?
Yes. It's just not on the path, but we'll just have to...
That's all right.
Because look, I think I've screwed that into there before. But,
Yeah, we didn't have those muckeeps there then, Sting.
I know, but this...
Oh, that fits.
It's not touching, so... See?
Just going to screw it in.
Well, we used to screw these together. These, I think they're 90mm self-drilling screws with a washer on, and they're just perfect. They just go straight through and into whatever you're screwing them into. I'll just hold that way, won't me? I'll just go get me drill, but it didn't take long for the chickens to find their way out and into all the scrub.
Oh. I have to keep an eye on them because the other one's not been put away yet.
Right, so that's a temporary solution for now. We can get in and out, but it'll keep the chickens away from these chickens and the ducks. And then they have their own section, they have their own section. But eventually, we want to move this, well, supposedly fruit cage, chicken cage, somewhere else on the property, but we're not sure where we want it yet. So for the minute, that's where it lives and that's where it'll stay. Right, let's get on with taking all them other bits down.
While Stephen's unscrewing the rest of that fence in, I'm going to go and see what the pigs are up to, because I can hear a noise that is not a good noise. It sounds like breaking wood. Oh wow. What have you done? Naughty piggies. That's going to have to be replaced. We don't want you guys escaping, do we? Huh? Have you had fun doing that? Have you had fun doing that? Hey? Yes, you cheeky. You cheeky. Who was it? Was it you? Was it you? Oh, look, who did that? Wasn't me.
As you can see, we use a lot of these Harris fence panels. One, because they're cheap, and two, because they're easy to use and they're easy to put together. We have them all on the boundary of our land there as well. I know they're not the prettiest thing to look at, but for 10, 15 quid a piece, and for the same amount of fencing to do the whole thing, you're talking thousands. So that's why we use them for now, and Harris Fencing is your friend. When the ground's not level as well, all we do is we just block it up with heavy stuff like this so that the chickens can't push it out the way and they can't get out, and just fill little gaps like this with whatever we can find, boulders, logs, bits of pallets, whatever we can find. They're also like a good 6 foot high as well, so it is a good fox deterrent. We have had things taken here in the past because of the fox, and that is a bit of a risk with taking them down and letting the chickens roam free. But touch wood, we haven't seen a fox around here for a while. We'll just have to see. We don't really have to take these down because the chickens can get out, but it just makes the place look a bit tidier and a bit of a nicer place to be when you're walking around. So it's just cosmetic really. As you can see, this is just the dumping ground at the minute for all our temporary stuff. So you're getting a full insight to everything today. We have had a few ideas of what to do with this just while we're walking around and talking. So I think one of them is eventually we're going to put a proper post and rail fence up here, meshed, and then maybe raised beds, because this has got quite a slope on it, and just to cover or take out most of this rubble, and maybe just put raised beds in and step them up, and then maybe just grow some shade loving things here because it doesn't get a lot of sun. But that's just one of the ideas. Another idea, we maybe just go and put a pond for the ducks in over there, but we'll see how they transpire. And this is our old turkey house. It's seen better days, the weather's trashed it, but eventually I'm going to re-roof that, and that'll be either the duck house or I don't know, but it's too good of a structure to waste for nothing, so I'll just replace the roof eventually and turn it into something. But anywho, right, just thought I'd take the opportunity while I'm taking the Harris fencing down just to carry on across the edge of the property, because sometimes the farmer runs his cows and everything in there, and all we've got here protecting us is a little bit of tin. So just a bit more security until we get a more permanent solution. Because that's fastened to that tree, but that's fastened to nothing, so I'll have to put this next one and hopefully fasten to that.
Place held together with tie wrappers, Steve.
Yes. use what you got. Take that branch off. Looks dead anyway.
That one's already wet yourself. Are you okay?
Not that one. Well, that's that job done. Didn't take as long as I thought. We're going to leave the feeder here for him because it's off the ground and it keeps the road until we hope anyway. So we'll leave that there for him. But now that's all open so they can just get in and squat around as much as they like. So the problem that we've got with this paddock, that's where I've just took the Harris fencing up from, down there. So they can have all this, but we've only got a post and rail fence here. We did mesh the bottom rung off to stop the ducks getting out when they were in here, but I don't think that'll deter the chickens. But the cockerel, that's the problem, is just on the other side of there. Hopefully he'll stay there and they'll be nice to each other, but if not, then he's destined for the pot. But typically the sun's on the paddock now and they've stayed in the shade down there. So I'm going to let the Brahmas out now so they can get a bit of sun. And we have a broody one in there sat on some eggs. I don't know how long she's been sat on them for, but I'll go and give her a lift up, see if any have hatched, see if we've got any little chicklets. Oh, yeah.
There's nothing there.
No, no chicks yet.
There's plenty of eggs.
So
Doing a good job, Mama.
a bit later on I might get one of them out and candle it to see if there's anything actually in them. Or she'll just be getting too weak if she's sat on dud eggs. Let's force these out so I know where they're going. Freedom at last. On to the next job of the day. I'm going to try and make the ducks a new pond because that one's about at it. So we've got a few of these lying around and this is the worst one. So the idea is I'm going to cut it off about there so it's got a nice bit of depth to it. Hopefully cut that off, lift the top off, give it a good clean out so it's still got the tap here on the front to drain it out. And then I've just got to figure out somewhere to put it so that they can easily get in and out. So we'll get on with that. So that's all them cut round. So that should just, in theory, just lift off, and then I'll get the other tool and then just cut round the plastic with the other one. Cool. Make something out of that. A hay feeder or something. Come in handy for something.
A raised bed.
Right, another bed. So I'll go and get my reciprocating saw now and I'll just run across that line and just cut that lid off. See what it looks like. Moment of truth. Oh God, that's minging. Right, take it on the car park and give it a good wash out. You know when you wish you should have picked a cleaner tank to work with. There's that all clean. Took longer than expected, but now I've got to go find somewhere to put it. Right, I think we've decided to put it here because it's in a natural bank, so I don't have to dig too much out. And we've got a Ivy tank there which catches the rain coming off the barn. So then we can just fill this one up with that one, and then I can just drain this off a pipe out there and away. So I think I'll dig it a bit more out just to get it sat a bit lower, and I'll fill the edges in with dirt to make it level with the floor, and then the ducks can just come in from all that angle there. That's the theory anyway. Right, so I'm just going to fill the sides of the pond in with some stones so I don't have to shift as much earth, and then I'll fill it round with the earth level to the ground what's there, and then fill it up and we're done. I'm just going to use all the dirt from down there which we dug out of there when we were building the outdoor kitchen. That's just where we dumped it all, so I'm just going to use that to fill in the gaps. Right, it's nearly full. These ends aren't popping back, so I'm just going to put a few tie wraps around there just to keep them tight against that, so the ducks don't hurt the feet on them getting in and out. Well, that's that finished. We've just put a few breeze blocks in just in case, well, the inevitable happens, which they kick all the water out and then they won't be able to get out. So just put them in for it and get out. We'll go over here now and take away the old pond because it's absolutely trashed, and then just leave them to find the nearest water source. This is what they have been using for the past few weeks, so just get rid of that and see if they find the new one. Well, that's it for the day. The chickens are enjoying their new spot. The ducks hopefully will start enjoying their new spot. We're just going to enjoy the last of the evening sun. So thanks for watching. Give us a thumbs up if you like what you're seeing, and leave any comments in the comment section below. Cheers.